Yeah. Turn the other way. Guys.
Hello viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the program Mathematics for JHS. Last week, we focused on how to simplify mathematical operations using standard form. Today, we shall consider percentages and their practical applications. Students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, when we talk about percent, 5% of something or 10% of something, it means 5 out of 100 or 10 out of 100. That is what it means. So that way of representing information helps us to describe the information in very simple ways or in a very simple manner. Now, if I have 10%, as I indicated earlier, it should be interpreted to mean 10 out of 100. So I can write it as 10 over 100. But I can reduce it to the simplest form. So I will write as 1 over 10, because 10 will go into itself once and into 100 how many times? 10 times. So you can reduce 10 over 100 to 1 over 10. So 1 over 10 is actually 10%. It's the same. Okay, so I've changed it from a percentage to a fraction. And I can also change the fraction to a decimal fraction. When you say 10 out of 100 and you represent it 10 over 100, you know we did approximations. This you can write it as 0.10. You are dividing it by 100. It means after the point, you should have 2 digits following the point. Are you okay with that? So it means the 10 out of 100 can be written 0.10. Any questions? All right, so another example is you may have 20%. As if how can you rewrite 20%?
20 over 100.
20 over 100. Razak, how many times will 20 go into 100?
5 times.
Is that?
5.
That's okay. So 20 goes into itself once and goes into 100 5 times. So you end up with 1 over 5. Are you okay? So you can reduce 20 over 100 to 1 over 5, which is a fraction. So viewers, we have shown how to express a percentage as a fraction. So if you are given if you have a given percentage and you are asked to express it as a fraction, say 5%, it means 5 out of 100. But you can reduce it further to its simplest form, as we have shown. So now the 20 over 100 here, we can also reduce it to a decimal fraction. And dear, look at the way I did the first one. How would you rewrite this as a decimal fraction?
0.20.
That is very good. So when you see 20%, which can be rewritten 20 over 100, the 100 here tells you after the point, 2 digits must follow. And that is why we are having 0.20. So you can go on 25%, then 50%, 75%. I will do the 25% with you so that you try the 50% and 75%. Okay. Samira, the 25%, how do you do it?
25 over 100.
That is very good. 25 over 100. Okay, Asifa, we are looking at how to reduce it to its simplest form. So 25 into 100, how many times?
4.
4. So you end up with what? 1 over 4. Abrazak, now if you have 1 over 4, what is the decimal form of it? Decimal fraction, if you want to put it in a decimal fraction.
0.25.
0.25. That is good. Okay, so once we have been able to look at the 4 examples together, you will have to try the 50% and the 75%. You have to express the two as fractions. So viewers, we have already shown how to convert a percentage or how to rewrite a percentage in the form of a fraction. So you pick your pen and your paper and try to rewrite 50% and 75% in the form of common fractions and decimal fractions. All right. This 50 over 100. So how many times?
50 meters, 2 times.
Mm-hmm. So the decimal fraction will be what? 0.50. That's good. Razak, is your pen well?
Yes.
Okay. And yeah. All right. That's good. Very good. Asifa, are you done? What's this?
75.
So how many times? What are you using? 5?
5.
So how many times will 5 go there?
Say 14.
Are you sure? That should be 15. Right? Check it. So you further reduce it. Okay, so let's try the 2 examples we have. Samira, if I have 50%, which other way can I write it?
50 over 100.
50 out of 100. And here, reduce 50 over 100 to its simplest form. 1 over 2, that's good. 50 times 2 will give you 100, right? So 50 into itself, 1. Into 100, 2 times, so 1 over 2. So the decimal form of it, Asifa, what do you get?
0.50.
0.50. Then lastly, we're looking at 75%. Samira?
75 over 100.
75 over 100. Then reduce it to a common fraction. Abrazak?
3 over 10.
3 over
10.
10? What did you use?
5.
What common factor did you use? 5. All right. So 5 into 75?
15.
It gives us 15. Then 5 into 100?
20.
20. That's okay. So if you have 15 over 20, Mandia, can we still reduce it further? 15 over 20. Can't there be any common factor?
5.
5. So 5 into 15?
3 times.
3 times. And into 20?
4.
4. So you end up with what?
3 over 4.
3 over 4. Are you okay? So that's how you change it to a fraction. So it tells you, you could go straight away and use 25 as the common factor. 25 into 75 will give you what? 3. And 25 into 100 will give you what? 4. So 75% is the same as 3 over 4. And in decimal fraction form, Samira, how do you write it?
0.75.
0.75. So, viewers, as I stated earlier, to be able to change a percentage to a fraction, you take the number divided by 100, and now you reduce it to its simplest. Looking at what we have on the board, if you see 1 over 10, which is 10%, the decimal fraction form should be 0.10. 20% is also the same as 1 over 5, which is 0.20. 25% is 1 over 4, which is 0.25. Up to 75%, which is the same as 3 over 4, which gives us 0.75. So throughout the lesson, we shall be using what I've indicated on the board. Take note of them. So when you see 1 over 2, it's the same as what? 50%, which can be rewritten 0.50. Are you okay? If you come across 75% or 3 over 4, they are the same, which we can express in decimal form as 0.75. Any questions? Any questions? All right. So I have this. So based on what we have done so far, we are to express the following percentages as fractions. We have 45.6, 45.6, then 10 whole number 3 over 4%, and 84 whole number 1 over 4%. So that's what we will be looking at. So I will do the first one with you. And I will do the second with you. And you try the third on your own. Are you okay? So let's try the first one. The first one is 45.6%. And dear, if you have 45.6%, how can you write this as a fraction?
45.6 over 100.
45.6 over 100. That's good. You realize that the numerator involves a decimal fraction. It will be difficult to deal with. So you will have to rewrite it in a way to remove the decimal point. So you look at the number of decimal places. That is exactly what you have to do, number of decimal places. If you find one decimal place, you multiply by 10. If you find 2 decimal places, you multiply by 100. Are you okay? So in the special case we have here, it is only 1 decimal place. So I'm going to multiply it by what? 10 to remove the point. Are you okay? So this is the same as Once you multiply the numerator by 10 to remove the decimal point, you maintain the balance by multiplying the denominator 2 by what? 10. This is the same thing. The 10 can cancel out with the 10, leaving 45.6 over 100. So it really doesn't change anything. Are you okay? So I'll go further and write as 456. Now if I multiply by 10, the point vanishes. It's no longer there. Are you okay? The denominator also tends to what? 1,000, because you are multiplying 100 by 10. And the trick is you don't need to sit and use the normal way we multiply numbers. This involves zeros. There are 2 zeros here. Just add another 0. Okay? You are multiplying 100 by 10. Just add 1 0 to the other one to make it 1,000. That's how the multiplication is done. Just as this one. If I'm multiplying by 10, because of the 10, the point will what? No longer be part of that particular number. Are you okay? If it were 100, then it means I will add 0 here. If it were 1,000, I'll add 2 more zeros. So when you are multiplying by 10, 100, 1,000, it shouldn't be a problem for you. So this is what we have. But this is not the reduced form of the fraction. You need to work on it further by finding a common factor that can go into 456 and also can go into 1,000. Are you okay? So Asifa, what do we use?
Three.
3? Can 3 go into 1,000? If you know you can't do it, just go for the smallest common factor. Look at it.
2.
2. Are you okay? 2 can go into the numerator and can go into the denominator. Into 4. So this is how you break it into tens, into hundreds, tens, and then what? Units. So 2 will go into 4 how many times? 2. So you write 2 here. Samira, into 5, how many times?
Yes, can be.
Is there? But tell me, how many times will it go into 5?
2.
2 times, remaining 1. So remember, we are at the tens column, right? We are at the tens column. Once you have remainder 1, it means the 1 there is tens. You add it to the 16 to make it what? To the 6. You add it to the 6 to make what? 16. So 4 into 16 will give us, Abdurazak?
4.
4, that's fine. So you end up with 2, 2, 4. You do same to the 1,000. 2 into 1. 2 cannot go into 1, so you add a 0, right? So 2 into 10 will give us what? 5. You add the 2 zeros, making what? 500. So you end up with 224 over 500. You are not done. This is not the reduced form of it. That's why you have to be precise in choosing a common factor that will make the work less difficult for you. We could have gone for 4, okay? But let's continue. Now, if we use 4, we can use 2 again, right? 2 will go into 2 once, again into 2, into 4, then into 500.
250.
This one will give us 25, so that's about 250, right? So you end up with 112 over 250. Are you okay? So you keep on reducing it. 2 into 112. You have to combine because 2 cannot go into 1. You combine that with the other one, making 11. Mandia, 2 into 11, you get what?
5 remainder 1.
5 remainder 1. So you write 5 here, leaving 1. 2 into 12?
6.
6. So that gives us 56. Then 2 into 250 into 2, you get what?
1.
1. As if I into 5, you get what?
2.
2 remainder 1. So you'll be having 10. Into 10? 5. So your final answer is 56 over what? 125. So if you are reducing 45.6 to a fraction, then you end up with 56 divided by 125. So viewers, as I indicated, in this case, we're talking about a number that involves a decimal fraction. To be able to change it to a fraction, it will be much easier to know the number of decimal places. If you have one decimal place, multiply the number by 10 to remove the decimal. If you have 2 decimal places, multiply by 100 to remove the decimal point. If you have 3 decimal places, multiply by 1000 to remove the decimal point. So you divide your result by 100 and reduce to the simplest form of the fraction. So that is exactly what we have there. So now the second example is the 10 whole number 3 over 4%. We can change that also to a fraction. But I've already indicated, so this 3 over 4, 1 over 2, then 1 over 4, 1 over 5, there should be things that you should know. You can easily tell what it is. So here the 3 over 4 stands for what? 0.75 as it is on the board. So this one, 10 whole number 3 over 4% means 10.75 what? Percent. Are you okay? 10 whole number 3 over 4% means 10.75%. The 3 over 4 there is 0.75. Any questions? Are you okay? All right, so we go on. Mandy, are you okay or you are not?
Okay.
You are okay. Asif, are you also okay?
Sir, please, what if the first number, what if you are transferring it and you do it
Like a mixed fraction?
Yes, sir.
Okay, even if it is a mixed fraction, you will still have to reduce it to the 10.75 before you can change it. Are you okay? So, okay, let's do it this way and look at the mixed fraction, how it should look like. So, in this case, looking at how many decimal places do we have, Samira?
2.
2. So, what do? We multiply by 10, 100?
100.
Okay. So, this gives us 10.75 times 100 over what? Abrazak, 100 times what?
100.
100. Are you okay? Yes. So we end up with, if you multiply by 100, Mandia, what happens to the decimal? The decimal point?
It's no longer there.
It won't be there anymore. So there's no going to be a decimal point. So you end up with 10.75. Then the bottom, how many zeros should we have now, Asifa?
Say 10,000.
10,000. So you have 10,000. Now you see, it's very clear. 10.75 over 10,000. 5, you should definitely go for 5 as your common factor, because 5 can go into the numerator and also can go into the denominator. So you look at it, 5 into 10, Abrazak, 2. 5 into 7?
3.
Into 7?
1.
1. Remaining?
2.
2. 5 into 25? 5. So you have 215. Are you okay? Samira, the denominator, 5 into 10?
5.
5 into 10?
2.
2. So the 2 will go with the 3 zeros. So you end up with 215 dividing 2,000. Are you okay? You can still reduce it further. Mandia, 5 will go into 2. You see, it can go into 2. So you add the 1 to make it 21. 5 into 21, what do you get?
4.
4. Asifa, into 21 you get 4, remaining?
1.
1. So you add the 1 here to make what? 15. 5 into 15.
3.
3. So you end up with what? 43. 5 into 20, what do you get?
4.
4. So it's 43 over 400. So you see, that's how you do it. To reduce it, a number involving decimal points to a fraction, a percentage involving decimal points to a fraction, this is exactly what you do. Any questions? All right, so viewers, this is what we have been able to do. So the third example, which is C, 84 whole number 1 over 4, you sit and watch it closely, pick your pen and paper and do it on your own. We will come back to you. So try to do it on your own and let's see what will happen. 4. Okay, so viewers, let's all do it together. We look at the C. You are having 84 whole number 1 over 4. You can rewrite it as if, how do you rewrite it?
So please, I wrote
It will be 84.
84 over. I wrote 84 over 100 times 25%.
84 over 100 times 25%. 84, okay, is the same as 84 point what?
25.
25. Are you okay? Over 100. Is that clear?
Yes.
So as I told you, there are 2 decimal places. You multiply here by 100 and the denominator by 100. So what do you get, Samira?
So it's 4.
So this 1 times 100 will give you. What happened to the decimal point?
So it's no longer.
So say it.
8425.
25. And the denominator will be what?
So 1,000.
How many zeros should come?
4.
So you have 10,000. So that is what you should do. Following what we have done already, you should be able to reduce it to its simplest form. Okay, viewers, we have been able to look at how to change percentages to common fractions. And what we have done is what you should do exactly. That's the procedure you have to do. Just write the number, divide it by 100, and then you reduce it to its simplest form. If it involves a decimal, count the number of decimal places. If you know the number, you multiply by 10 or 100 or 1,000, depending on the number of decimal places, and you divide by 100. If you do that, you should be able to get the exact fraction in its reduced form. This brings us to the end of today's lesson. Enjoy yourselves till we meet in our next lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.